Good morning, students. I am Dr. Sujata. Today we are going to discuss about malaria. Malaria, it is a mosquito-borne infection. It is caused to the humans through the bite of the mosquito. This mosquito carries protozoa. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Plasmodium, it is a protozoa. This protozoa is carried by mosquito. So that's why it is called as mosquito-borne infection. Okay, scientific studies on malaria was first done by Louis Alphonse. That means Alphonse is the scientist who first studied on malaria. Later on, Ronald Ross is the scientist who first proved that mosquito was the vector. Vector means the insects which carries the disease to the humans. They are called as vectors. It is a vector-borne infection. So, Scottish physician Sir Ronald Ross, who proved that mosquito was the vector for malaria. For this, he was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1902. Okay? Ronald Ross is the scientist who studied the life cycle of Plasmodium in a mosquito. Coming to the introduction, malaria is a mosquito-borne infection. It is a febrile disease. What is the meaning of febrile disease? The disease which causes fever is called a febrile disease. The malarian parasite causes high fever. What is the meaning of malaria? Mala means bad, area means air. So the meaning of malaria is bad air. It is a protozoal infection. Remember, it is a protozoal infection, but it is transmitted by the mosquito. Okay, it is a mosquito-borne infection. It can be transmitted through mosquito. What the mosquito is transferring? The mosquito is carrying protozoa. It is a protozoal infection. The meaning of malaria is bad air. This disease is mainly caused to the human beings. This malaria infects humans. What is the mosquito? That is female Anopheles mosquito. It is a vector-borne infection. Female Anopheles mosquito which carries Plasmodium protozoan. This Plasmodium protozoan causes malaria. The symptoms appears maybe within 1 week, or it may take more than 1 month. Sometimes it may take years together. Okay. So it is a mosquito-borne infection. So coming to, we have to know about Plasmodium. Plasmodium, it is a parasite. Parasite means organism which depends upon the another is called as parasite. We are also the parasites. We are depending upon our parents. So parasites means which depends upon other. So Plasmodium is a parasite of protozoa. It causes malaria. Plasmodium mainly infect RBC cells, that means red blood cells in mammals, including humans, birds, reptiles. It is a worldwide distribution. It may be of tropical and temperate regions. This malaria may occur in tropical regions and temperate regions. Coming to the taxonomic classification, it belongs to the kingdom Protista and subkingdom Protozoa. It belongs to the class Sporozoa. It belongs to the family Plasmodiae and genus Plasmodium. Okay. So there are mainly 4 species of malarian parasites there, which causes the main infection to the humans. They are Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium malaria. Malaria is found about 100 countries. 100 countries in the world, they are suffering with the malaria. Maximum prevalency occurs in the warm and humid environment. It is a seasonal disease. The season of malaria is July to November in India. Especially in India, malaria is mainly caused in the season of July to November. That means mainly in the rainy season and coming to the cold season. So July to November is the main season of malaria in India. Optimum temperature and humidity for the development of protozoa is 20 to 30 degrees and humidity is 60%. This Organism easily develop at 60 degrees, 60% of humidity. Okay, ma? Coming to the incubation period. Incubation period, what is the meaning of incubation period? The time required for the organism to multiply in the host and cause disease in the host is called as incubation period. Different organisms exhibit different incubation period. Example, if we take Plasmodium falciparum, the incubation period is 9 to 14 days. In case of Plasmodium vivax, the incubation period is 8 to 17 days. In case of Plasmodium ovale, the incubation period is 16 to 18 days. In case of Plasmodium malaria, the incubation period is 18 to 40 days. Okay, these are the incubation periods of the different protozoans species. Next, coming to the characteristics and life cycle. Intermittent host. Here there are two hosts are there. Intermittent host and definite host. The intermittent host is human. Humans are the intermittent host. What is the final host? The final host is mosquito. Mosquito is the final state. What is the infective stage here? Sporozoid. That means the mosquito inject the sporozoid to the humans. The sporozoid multiply in the blood and cause the disease. That's why the infective stage of humans is sporozoid is the infective stage. So the infective way, how it is going to be infected, how the person is going to be infected means through the bite of infected mosquito. By the bite of infected mosquito. So the organism enters into the body through the mosquito bite of the humans. Okay, what is the parasitic position? What is the position of parasites in the humans is mainly liver and RBC, red blood cells. The transmitter stage is gametocytes. Gametocytes are nothing but egg and sperm. Cytosolic cycle in red blood cells occurs in 48 hours. Sporozoid, it consists of tetrasporozoid and bradysporozoids. Okay. Next one, the Plasmodium, already we discussed there are two types of hosts are there, intermediate host and definitive host. Final host, a vertebrate host in which reproduce is asexual. In case of humans, the mosquito will undergoes asexual reproduction. So, it is an intermediate host. In case of definite host, the organism goes sexual reproduction, that is mosquito. Okay. In case of mosquito, the organism will multiply in sexual mode. In case of humans, it can be reproduced by asexual mode of transmission. Next, coming to the life cycle. It has the three life cycles. One is exoerythrocytic cycle, and the other is erythrocytic cycle. The third one is sporogenic cycle. Exoerythrocytic cycle. Exoerythrocytic cycle occurs in the liver of the man. Erythrocytic cycle occurs in the RBC of man, humans. The sporozoid cycle occurs in the mosquito, the two female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, the life cycle of Plasmodium is divided into three stages: exoerythrocytic cycle and erythrocytic cycle. These two occurs in the humans. Only the cycle occurs in the female Anopheles mosquito is sporogenic cycle. Sporogenic cycle occurs in the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, understood the life cycle of Plasmodium? How it is going to be transferred? Through the bite of the mosquito. Through the bite of the mosquito, it can be transmitted. From one person to person also, it can be transmitted only through the bite of the mosquito. Man-to-man transfer, it doesn't occur. Man-to-man transfer, it doesn't occur. Now we are discussing how the life cycle of mosquito. First, the mosquito, adult mosquito lays eggs. It lays eggs. These eggs are converted into larva, then pupa, then adult. This is the life cycle of the mosquito. In this stage, if you spoil any stage of this mosquito, so all over the malaria will be controlled. So, coming to this, events of humans, how the mosquito enters and releases the organism, how the organism will be multiplied. So man is the, already we discussed, man is the intermediate host. Mosquito is the definite host. The sporozoids from the mosquito enters into the humans. The sporozoids, remember, the sporozoids are the infective forms. Where they are present? They are present in the salivary glands of female Anopheles mosquito. Remember, here female Anopheles mosquito is very important. So, the sporozoids present in the salivary glands of female Anopheles mosquito. These female Anopheles mosquito, after bite of humans, it releases the sporozoids into the blood circulation. Directly, the sporozoids enters into the blood. Then the sporozoids develop and enters into the liver cells, where it gets multiplied by nuclear division. By nuclear division, it releases, develops to schizons. The schizons consist of 20,000 to 50,000 merozoids. Next one, erythrocytic cycle. Erythrocytic cycle, erythro itself indicates RBC cells. The merozoids are released from the liver and they invade into the RBC cells. Plasmodium vivax infects only young RBC cells, young erythrocytes, whereas Plasmodium malariae infect old erythrocytes, whereas Plasmodium falciparum infect all old and young RB cells. All the age of RBC cells was infected. This Plasmodium malariae will infect only old erythrocytes. Okay. The merozoids are in pear shape. They are of 1 to 5 micron in length. The receptors for merozoids are red blood cells. Okay. Next, erythrocytic schizogony. The merozoids penetrate the RBC cells and they occur in 3 stages. One is trophozoid, schizons and merozoids. As you all might know, trophozoid is the active feeding stage. Coming to the life cycle, the Malarian parasitic life cycle involves in 2 hosts. One is human and other is mosquito. Don't forget that it has 2 hosts. Okay? One is intermittent host and the other is definite host. During the blood meal, the malaria infect female Anopheles mosquito, inoculate sporozoids into the human host. During the blood meal, the female Anopheles mosquito inoculate sporozoids into the human host by the bite of the mosquito. The sporozoids enters. These sporozoids directly enters into the blood and they infect the liver cells. Then they mature into the schizons. Okay, they mature into the schizons, which ruptures and releases merozoids. Merozoids can be released. After that, these merozoids infect the RBC cells. Merozoids are mainly concentrated on liver and RBC cells. So the merozoids are infect red blood cells. The ring stage trophozoid. Trophozoids is nothing but active feeding stage. These trophozoids mature into schizons, which ruptures and releases merozoids. Some parasites differentiate into sexual erythrocytic states, gametocytes. Blood stage parasites are responsible for clinical manifestation of disease. The gametocytes, male gametocytes are known as microgametocytes and female is called as macrogametocytes, are ingested by Anopheles mosquito during the blood meal. The parasite multiplying the mosquito is known as Sporogenic Cycle. The parasites, the Plasmodium parasite multiplication in the mosquito is known as Sporozenic Cycle. By the mosquito stomach, the microgametes penetrate the macrogametes, generate the zygote. The zygote in turn becomes motile and elongated, which we are known as ookinetins, which invades midgut of the mosquito, where they develop into oocysts. The oocysts grow, rupture, and releases sporozoids. This sporozoids goes and stored in the salivary glands. And inoculation of sporozoid is due to this. Salivary glands of mosquito consists of sporozoites. These sporozoites, when the mosquito takes the blood meal from the humans, they enters into the humans. So the malaria life cycle will be ends like this. Only female mosquito fed on the blood, whereas coming to the male mosquito fed on plant nectars and do not transmit the disease. The female mosquito, only the female mosquito can transfer the disease called malaria, whereas the male mosquito will feed on plant nectars. It doesn't transfer any disease. The malarian parasite can also be transmitted by blood transfusion. Okay? It can transfer only blood transfusion. Next, coming to the sporogony. Sporogony is the cycle which occurs in the mosquito's body. This cycle will complete in the mosquito. Occurs mosquito in it takes 9 to 21 days. Fusion of micro and macro gametes. It releases zygote. So within 24 hours, the zygote oocyte transfers into the epithelium cells and forms the oocyst. Then oocyst, asexual reproduction will be takes, right? And sporozoites enters into the through blood meal of the mosquito. Sporozoites are released. Sporozoites invade the salivary glands. They stored in the salivary glands of mosquito and they are released into the human's body through the bite of mosquito. That too, female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito can transfer the disease from one person to other person through the bite. Next, coming to the symptoms of malaria. What are the symptoms? High fever. It is a febrile disease. We already studied. It is a febrile disease. High temperature will be noted. Chills, chilling sensation, constipation, headache, nausea, vomitings, and back pains. Muscular pain will be occurs. Headache, severe headache, vomitings, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Due to the organism enters into the body and attack to the liver, that way constipation will be occurs, motion will be occurs, chill will be occurs, headache will comes, muscular pains will be occurs. Next, coming to the diagnosis. How we can diagnose? This can be, the organism can be diagnosed by using blood film examination. Why means the organism directly enters into the blood. So along with this, we can use PCR technique and antibody detection. Mainly bloodstream can be done. Okay, coming to the treatment, there is no vaccination for malaria. Malaria, it is a seasonal disease. It is a poor sanitation causes the disease. It is not a fatal disease. It doesn't cause the death of the person. It may come and go. So there is no proper vaccination. There is no vaccination for malaria. The treatment of malaria is mainly chloroquines. Chloroquines are the drugs which can be used for the treatment of malaria. This can be given in 3 doses. 3 doses can be given to the person. Three doses can be taken after the meal. After the meal, you can take the dose of the chloroquines. Chloroquines and primaquines. Anyhow, we have to give chloroquine combination drugs for the treatment of malaria. Malaria can be treated by using chloroquines. Next, coming to the malaria management. How we can manage, how we can prevent the disease. This disease can be prevented by early detection. If you detect the malaria early stages, we can treat the person very easily. And the next stage is mosquito control. If you control the mosquito, we can prevent from the malaria. And proper sanitation. Proper sanitation is also required. So early detection can be done in community by house to house visit of the healthcare workers. Our DMHO, District Medical Health Office, the officers will come. Malaria workers will be there. They will come to our community every 15 days. They inquire whether any person is having fever along with the chill. They will check and they take the blood as a specimen, and if the person is positive, the administration of chloroquines can be done. So bloodstream, we are testing the blood only, blood. Malarian parasite can be identified by examination under the microscope. Just we have to take the blood from this finger. They will smear the blood and add ginseng strain and allow the slide for air dry for 2 to 3 minutes. After that, we have to observe under microscope. Then, if there is any circular forms, oval shaped structures will be appears, then it indicates the person is positive for typhoid malaria. Okay, ma? How we can detect this organ? The specimen is only the blood. This is the most important. We have to take the blood smear of the person, infected person, suspected person, symptomatic person. Then we have to smear the blood. Then we have to add ginseng strain 2 to 3 drops. Then allow the slide for air dry for 2 to 3 minutes. Then observe under microscope. Just simple. Within 24 hours, within fraction of 1 hour, we'll get the result. Okay, that is one thing. Then how we can control the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can be controlled by using of mosquito nets, mosquito repellent creams like odomas, mosquito nets, and repellent creams like odomas. We have to apply the odomas on the skin so that the mosquito cannot be attracted. Mosquito nets can be used. By using of mosquito nets, the mosquitoes cannot be entered. Next time, by spraying of DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, tetrachloroethane spraying. Due to this spray, the egg stage or larval stage can be killed. If there is no eggs, the mosquitoes will not come. If the mosquitoes were spoiled in the larval stage, the mosquitoes cannot be grown into adults. So there is no bite of mosquitoes. Okay, ma'am. Next, how we can control by using of mosquito nets, mosquito coils, closing of windows. Don't allow the mosquitoes into the house. So there is a national malaria eradication program was there. Government of India launched this program in 1953. The national eradication program consists of various methods. Administration, the measures are administration of anti-malarial drugs, that means chloroquines. They educate the people how to avoid the mosquitoes. So these are the National Malaria Eradication Program. This Malaria Eradication Program was conducted by our government. Next, we have to mind some more things to avoid the malaria. One is we should be very careful. We have to aware that if the mosquito will bite, the malaria will come. So that is the awareness. Next, bite prevention. We have to avoid the mosquito bite by using the mosquito nets or by using repellent creams. And we have to know early detection. If we detect very early, we have to easily give the chloroquines, and we have to avoid the mosquito more infection in the body. Next, this is all about malaria. So here what you remember, malaria, it is a protozoan parasite. It is a mosquito-borne infection. It is a vector-borne disease. That means disease which carried by the insects is called as vector-borne disease. Mainly causes febrile, that means high fever. The early detection may prevent the fatal stage. So it is a diagnostic disease. It comes in the month of July to September. We should be very careful in that month. So proper cleaning, proper sanitation is main important. Avoid overcrowding of the people. Avoid disposable of waste, accumulation of waste at one place, open place. Use dustbins. These are all helpful for the avoiding of malaria. Okay, ma'am, thank you.